Ahoy, ahoy! Welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble on Reactions. With me, as always, on my couch is handsome Dan Nye.
And sitting right over there is clever Eric Muller. And one of the rare occurrences happened. We actually both saw a film, so we can.
What? It happens.
Every now and again, it does. So we can actually talk to you and review this one. This is going to be Jeff Nichols' most recent film. Loving. I do want to throw something at you later, but let's talk about this film first. Give us just a little overview of it. What's this about?
Pretty much it's about the historical case of Loving versus Virginia, the state of Virginia, which pretty much got rid of interracial marriages, where it made them legal now. Because before in this movie, Joel Edgerton and I forget the actress,
Ruth Negga.
Yeah, they're a couple that gets married in Washington D.C., but their marriage is not recognized in the state of Virginia. In fact, to avoid jail time, they are told you have to leave this state for 25 years.
Yeah, it's like you're pretty much on probation for the whole time, and that was the deal that was struck.
Yeah,
that was good. That was like, so they didn't have to face jail time, and their first child was on the way, and they were like, oh, okay, then we're going to obviously have to do this and spend all the time with their families.
Yeah.
And one thing I really liked about this movie is it says Loving, and you watch the trailer. The trailer it's a bait trailer, I will say that. Like, seeing that trailer and then watching this movie, it's a different film than what they pitch you, but I understand why they did it, because when you see that trailer, you're like, this is going to be a really, like, controversial and gripping and ripping film, and then you watch it and you're like, that was much more subdued and like,
yeah, I noticed that. Like, it was way more subdued than you expect this story to be. Like, based on the trailer and how it relates to what's going on in the past couple of years here in America.
So. I was going to bring up that point too, where this is. I don't know if when they started to shoot this, they were planning on being as culturally relevant as it was then that it is now, where it's like. Everyone, like, that's the thing that's played really well in this movie. There's one scene of direct confrontation, but everything else is very much undertones. It's very much threatening instances where, like, paranoia can get the better of you.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes like that.
But what this film boils down to is that relationship between Mr. and Mrs. Loving. And, Joel Edgerton and Ruth Negga.
Oh, yeah, they were fantastic.
They were so good in this movie. There are a couple of times, like, almost any time there's a phone call, I got kind of emotional. Like, it's kind of a weird thing to be like had to point out in a review, but it's like very significant things happen in this movie in phone calls. We're not going to spoil anything for you. You obviously know how this movie ends, but it's worth it to see the story of these two.
I just like when because Joel's playing simple and he plays it so well. And again, like you see the line in the trailer where it's like, well, what do you want me to tell the Supreme Court? Just tell him I love my wife. I mean, just
that's his character,
right? That's his character, and it's so well performed.
It's well performed. Michael Shannon being Jeff Nichols' muse.
Oh my God, I loved it when Michael Shannon showed up. He was a happy charter for once.
He was a charming addition for a grand total of 15 minutes in this film.
But I'll take it.
Yeah. A more controversial report. What did you think of Nick Kroll in this film?
It was nice to see him have range. I'm not gonna go like he's Jonah Hill.
That's exactly the comparison I was gonna bring to you, because our friend Nate, he said that like he didn't like Nick Kroll in this, and I disagree. I actually really enjoyed him, because you see him pull back a lot, and his character is. I don't even want to say shyster, because that's too strong of a word, but he's kind of like... He's a
lawyer.
He's a lawyer, but he's like pumping himself up to be bigger than he is, but then it's like he's in over his head, but he sticks with it, and like he winds up ultimately being a good guy, even though he gets the case kind of under false pretenses. So I like what he does. I don't want to say he's at Jonah Hill yet, but he could definitely go down that role.
I mean, this is like his first attempt at trying to do the serious role. I get where he's going from. It was nice to see him have some range, but
all right. So anything bad? I can't think of it.
My only bad is just the movie just ends.
I
like with the pacing, because it's very drawn out.
It's a very slow paced movie,
and then it just ends.
I can see it.
I know from the artist aspect and the director, I get what he was going with, especially with the text and the clouds.
I enjoyed it. The ending.
I get it, but it's just like, oh, that's it.
It's the reason the ending doesn't bother me is because it very much seems like the logical conclusion of where this is going. Where it's starting, it starts with their engagement. Essentially, they've already been in a couple, and she's fairly pregnant at the time, and so it kind of ends with them being able to live and have this relationship.
Right, to finally have their relationship.
So as far as the story goes, that's where it ends, and then you get a great end card with that. Like you may not have liked where it ended with the pace, but the way it ends is very nice and ties into the earlier part of the movie. So what is this?
B+ to me.
This is an A for me. There was nothing about this movie I didn't like. And real quick before we wrap up, I'm gonna pitch this to you on the spot. Jeff Nichols, our generation Spielberg? ?
Let's wait till he gets a little bit more movies.
Have you seen either of the other ones?
I've watched some of his other ones, but again, I'm not ready to dub someone Spielberg after 4 films.
You remember who the last our generation?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shamhammer.
M. Night Shyamalan.
So, the track record given,
yes,
Jeff Nichols is way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but again, because we've got to remember Spielberg, he worked with a lot bigger budget. So once Jeff starts conquering those, then we can start the Spielberg comparison.
But as always, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you thought of Loving. We both clearly really, really, really enjoyed this movie. So I'm sure you'll see a lot more of it come awards season. That's clever Eric Muller sitting right there.
That's Handsome Dan Nice sitting there.
And as always, ahoy, ahoy.
Ramble on.